What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you week 3 of season 2 of the APA Showdown Little Cup League, and this week we are up against Harry and his Manchespin United. And before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. And let's do more cool stuff for you guys. Wow, I can't talk. And I haven't been doing this in a while, but if you are new to the channel, please feel free to check out the TTM Discord that will be linked in the description below, where we have channels for all of the Draft League teams represented on the channel, as well as Smogon, TCG, and a whole host of other things. So please feel free to check that out if you so choose. But anyway, on to the team. Like I said, we are up against Harry, whose link will also be in the description, so I encourage you to check him out. And his team consists of Diglett, Zorua, Doduo, Tyrunt, Makuhita, Gulpin, Electrike, Munna, Carvanha, and Alolan Diglett. Yes, there was no species clause, so this man is able to have not only Diglett, but Alolan Diglett. So that's kind of sort of really unfortunate because both Diglett and Alolan Diglett are super annoying for this team to deal with. But right off the bat, what I'm noticing about his team, you know, besides the insane amount of threats like Doduo just kind of trucks me and Makuhita is an insane problem for me to try to deal with, he has no removal at all. Like, Doduo, I learned courtesy of Evan, does not get defog. So I was like, oh, well, that changes my plan a little bit. So all of a sudden I went from not planning to bring Sticky Web to, yeah, Sticky Web 100% has to be on this team, and that's where the first mon that you can see is going to come into play. I'm bringing Sticky Web 100% and just try to hope that the reduced speed plus priority spam against him will be sufficient to win the game. So that's going to be my whole game plan. I have enough offensive hitters against him that can really just kind of punch a hole in his team and revenge whatever I need to. Like, his team is fast, but it's also pretty frail, so I'm going to try to exploit that to the best of my ability. The first mon I'm bringing this week, of course, is going to be Surskit with, what else? Sticky Web and a Focus Sash. You can just kind of bet that whenever Surskit's coming, it's going to have a Focus Sash, and it's going to have Sticky Web. So that's kind of what we're working with right here. Sticky Web, Haze, Hydro Pump, and Aqua Jet. Hydro Pump was just solid neutral coverage against his team, as the only thing that resisted it is Carvanha, and if Carvanha comes in, well, it really doesn't like taking Hydro Pump, and like any chip damage on Carvanha is amazing for my priority, just to be able to take that thing out later in the game if I am able to. So yeah, that is what the Surskit is designed to do, with Aqua Jet obviously for the Diglets that might try to outspeed me, and really the only way that he can prevent Sticky Web is one of 3 ways. So there are 3 different ways. First way is the simplest, and that is just lead with a Zorua, with a Scarf Zorua. So lead with a Zorua and win the speed tie, or lead with a Scarf Zorua and taunt. That's 2 ways. That's a way that he could prevent me from getting up Sticky Web immediately. Another way, and perhaps the most simplest and easy to try to slap on a team, is to flinch me with one of his Diglets going for Rock Slide. So, I mean, he has to hit the Rock Slide, and he has to flinch me. I mean, that would be absolutely debilitating if he was able to get that, but that's what he has to go for. Like, he has to get up rocks, or not get up rocks, he has to Rock Slide and flinch me, prevent me from getting Sticky Web. So that's the second. And the third one is going to be leading with Munna and going for a Magic Coat. Now, if he leads Munna and goes for a Magic Coat, that's just a free switch into Bunnelby for me, and I can't start pressuring his team because Bunnelby with just Return and Earthquake absolutely demolishes him. So yeah, those are the 3 ways that he can prevent Sticky Web, and I mean, honestly, should everything go according to plan, I'll have Sticky Web up, and I will just be able to pressure the crap out of him. So that's going to be what I'm looking for. Surskit, definitely all about the Sticky Web. If I can just get Sticky Web and die, well, then I consider that a victory. Next up is going to be an Agility Eviolite Bunnelby with Agility, Return, Earthquake, and Quick Attack. This thing will be able to... I mean, this thing is actually surprisingly bulky. I know that Bunnelby, like, you don't think bulk when you think of Bunnelby, but this thing has a surprising amount of bulk. Like, I was doing some of the calcs and I was just like, wait, really? Bunnelby takes that hit? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm rolling with here. Just the combination of Return, Earthquake, and Quick Attack covered his team very easily. Like, covered everything it needed to. I didn't feel like I needed any more coverage. Just both of those covered his team perfectly. And then Agility was great for like taking taking a non-like boosted attack from a Diglett I can set up on, non-boosted attack from Zorua, potentially on Munna, even Carvanha if it tries to protect, expecting me to be scarfed. I can agility on his protect and then outspeed him the next turn. So there's a myriad of situations that I can get an agility up, and if I do, Bunnelby has a very good chance of sweeping if I have even just rocks up. I don't necessarily need Sticky Web, but Sticky Web would make life a whole heck of a lot easier. So yeah, that's what I'm working with on the Bunnelby. Next up, yeah, you're seeing this right, I'm bringing my tier 4 for the third straight week. I mean, quite frankly, I think this thing is mistiered just because of the utility it has in... I'm honestly running the exact same set, basically. I mean, just Stealth Rock, Thief, Endure, Rock Tomb. Like, that's the set I've been running with Bunnelby, wow. It's a combination of Bonsly and Bunnelby. Bonsly and Bunnelby, I cannot talk right now. Yeah, I mean, this Bonsly, very straightforward. Like, it's the same exact set. Stealth Rock, Thief, Endure, and then filler move, whether that's Brick Breaker, Rock Tomb. And then I run Berry Juice and Sturdy. Like, super straightforward, super, like, it's exactly what it does. It gets up rocks, takes an item, lives a hit, and is just a general nuisance to the opposing team. And I needed Bonsly because I needed something to resist Bravebird, because otherwise Doduo absolutely destroys me. So that's what Bonsly is here for. And keep note, you see Stealth Rock on Bonsly, that will come into play in a little bit. And by a little bit, I'm just going to jump immediately to it, because I have a second Stealth Rocker in my Sandygast with Stealth Rock, Shore Up, Earth Power, and Rock Tomb to cover his team. Covers his team pretty well. Like, Rock Tomb hits the Dodo for super effective damage, and the rest of his team is not resistant to Earth Power. So, yeah, he's lacking a lot of key resistances on his team. Wow, ugh. This is going to be a great recording, guys. I am just as eloquent as ever, fluid speaking, definitely not jumbling up my words or combining anything. But Sandygast takes hits like a boss in this matchup. Like, this thing's defense at 18, like, man, I keep saying like. This thing's defense is insane, and it can take hits from his physical attackers really, really well. This thing has only a 6% chance to be KO'd after rocks by an Adamant +1 Tyrant's Z Outrage after rocks. Like, that's an insane calc for something that doesn't resist. So Sandygast is just there to take hits, shore up. It can shore up against either of the Digletts. It can potentially shore up against Tyrant. Just a lot of things that Sandygast can take hits from well and recover up, and then potentially Earth Power and Rock Tomb to get sufficient damage on the rest of his team. Now, the reason I have two Stealth Rockers is because Stealth Rock is so very important to the strategy, and one or the other between Bonsly and Sandygast, I've noticed, will be pressured by any combination of 6 mons he brings. Like, if one is particularly pressured, the other has the ability to go for rocks, and vice versa. So instead of trying to force Sandygast or Bonsly to go for rocks in a matchup that they don't necessarily want to, having Stealth Rock on both of them gives me the freedom to let the one that takes the pressure not have to get up rocks, and the other has the opportunity to do so. So that's why I'm running double Stealth Rock this week. It just, I mean, it makes sense, and it seems to, and it's worked out in my mocks. Second to last, we have a Life Orb Croagunk with Fake Out, Vacuum Wave, Sludge Bomb, and Knockoff. Just a nice special attacker, mainly a Carvanha Revenge Killer, as well as an Alolan Diglett. It's nice for, I mean, it's nice for super effective damage, but also against Tyrant and Zorua. Double priority, very good against his team. Sludge Bomb and Knockoff just have good coverage overall as well. So just very straightforward, good priority, good coverage. It's going to hit hard. And finally, we have a Choice Scarf Krabby with Liquidation, Body Slam, Knockoff, and Superpower. This thing just absolutely trucks his team. His only resist is Carvanha, and let's be real, Carvanha is not a Krabby resist. So yeah, that is the team. Just very, very straightforward. We're going to try to get webs up, get rocks up, and then try to win with Bunnelby, Croagunk, or the Krabby. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop right on over to the battle. Alrighty, here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that there is no Zorua, so I don't have to worry about a 50-50 potentially, preventing me from being able to get my webs up immediately, and also there's no Makuhita, which could have been an issue for me otherwise, but I mean, without both of them there, my team is looking really, really good. Like, the combination of Bunnelby plus Krabby is looking very, very difficult for him to deal with, especially if I'm able to get webs up, which, I mean, barring a 30% flinch, I should be able to do. So that being said, I am going to lead off with my Surskit as it's... I mean, again, webs are very important to the strategy if he leads Munna. Like I said, I'm just going to go straight into Bunnelby to take advantage of that, as he's probably going to try to Magic Coat as his way of preventing webs. So yeah, just going to go ahead and lead with the Surskit, as apparently he decided that his best way to prevent webs was to go for the immediate turn 1 flinch, and I'm like, you know what, this is heavily in my favor. I have less than a 30% chance if you count Rock Slide accuracy, but also, I mean, I guess he could go for like Iron Head because that has 100% accuracy, but either way, 30% chance that I don't get my webs up, and if I do, then like it's, quite honestly, it's pretty much game over if I'm able to get my rocks up as well, as there's really nothing his team can do against me. So I'm just going to stay in, take the Rock Slide, I'll be able to live that guaranteed, get up my webs, and I get flinched. Now, I acknowledged that that was unfortunately the way that it would probably go down turn 1. Like, I mean, he realized that his only way to prevent webs was to flinch my Surskit. So, I mean, I risked that, and I was really hoping that it would go in my favor, because, I mean, once I get webs up, like I said, if I get rocks up as well, then Bunnelby plus Krabby just absolutely cleave his team in two. But unfortunately, yeah, that really, really sucks, not being able to get up webs. Like, the immediate flinch right off the bat just put me on the back foot immediately, because now I have no real speed control, and he has a really fast and powerful team, so I'm having to come up with a game plan on the fly without Sticky Web, because, I mean, my game plan was either get with Sticky Web up early, or if he led with Munna, or if he brought a Zorua, get up Sticky Web a little bit later. But with Surskit already down to its sash immediately, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get up Sticky Web, so I have to come up with a completely new game plan and figure out what the heck I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to pull the switch into my Sandygast, as he does just go immediately for the Life Orb Earthquake, does a decent chunk to me, and now I'm just going to shore up as another Earthquake could potentially knock me out as he gets his rocks up, so guaranteed no webs for me. Now that my Sandygast is at full, I'm going to go for the rocks as he brings in his Doduo, and no idea what this Doduo is. I mean, Doduo is a huge threat to my team. I mean, it was going to be one regardless because it's not affected by webs anyway. I don't want to send Bonsly in immediately, as that could be something that, like, that'll be my way of, like, switching into a Brave Bird later if I need it. So I am just going to stay in with my Sandygast as he goes for the knockoff and go for the Rock Tomb if he's... I don't know, just figure out what this Doduo is, as it does turn out that he is Berry Juice. So that's good information to have. But unfortunately, the roll is such that even though he only did 48% with the knockoff before Eviolite, due to Little Cup shenanigans, he will be able to guaranteed take me out from this range with a knockout, or with a knockoff. He will be able to knock out with knockoff from this range, so I don't want my Sandygast to go down just yet. I feel like I can restore health on like a non-HP, or like a non-boosting item Diglett. I should be able to shore up again, so I'm going to save it. Just go ahead and sack off my Surskit. I figured that this was as good a opportunity as any, and just kind of let it go down there. Goes to the Brave Bird. I mean, that's kind of to be expected, but at this point, I am going to bring in my Bunnelby. Now, as you saw in the team preview, or team builder rather, Bunnelby is agility. I'm going to bring this in. He has no idea what this Bunnelby could be. I mean, the fact that I'm bringing it in immediately kind of indicates... I mean, could potentially indicate Scarf, but with the reduced speed on Doduo, he can't really... Like, he doesn't have the ability to tell just based off of Bunnelby coming in, because it should be able to outspeed the Doduo regardless. But I am kind of counting on him not wanting to sack off a full health Doduo that is such a huge threat to my team. So I am going to leave my Bunnelby in and kind of bank off the fact that he wouldn't go for Jump Kick right off the bat. Like, I thought that, okay, it's early in the game, I don't think he's going to try to Jump Kick with his Doduo immediately, and if he does, well, then I'm kind of screwed, but I can still get some quick attack damage off. I'll think that it'll try to scout out for the potential return, because, I mean, that's the safest play for me to go for, and I am going to pull the trigger right off the bat and go for the agility and just kind of pray that he doesn't stay in, as he does end up switching out to Tyrunt, and this is gorgeous for me. So this Tyrunt is all but guaranteed to be Berry Juice. I mean, Sturdy Berry Juice, that's just kind of a thing. So now that I'm at +2 speed, I'm going to go immediately for the Earthquake as he goes into his Doduo. And I really have no reason to predict at this point. if he wants to go back into Tyrant, sure, my return is going to knock him into Berry Juice range, which will bring him back up to full health. But once he's back at full health, there is nothing short of a... I think even from this range, I might have the ability to live a superpower. I'm not quite sure on that calc, but I know an Outrage will 100% not knock me out from this range. So I have no reason to overpredict. I'm just going to stay in, or I'm not going to, well, of course I'm going to stay in. I'm at +2, but I am just going to attack what's in front of me, go for the return, and knock out the Doduo, and now I have a +2 Bunnelby in front of his team, and his entire team is grounded as well, so whenever Tyrant or Diglett comes in, I can just click Earthquake and claim my kill. He is going to go into his Munna, and that kind of screams at this thing. Like, if it's max HP even, I mean, it only has to be max HP in a Violite to live a hit from Bunnelby, so I have no reason to do anything else. I'll live a Psychic for sure. I'm just going to stay in, go for the return. Doesn't quite take it out, as he does end up getting the Trick Room up, and I'm like, ah, crap, well, that's unfortunate, but I can at least claim another kill in the Munna with a quick attack, and Bunnelby, while it is at +2 and is looking to do a ton of work against his team, unfortunately, it will not be able to clean up the game at this point, because that Trick Room is set up, and yeah, my boosted speed is coming against me. Trick Room was his anti-webs option, which was very cool, but unfortunately, yeah, that's just not going to end up being particularly helpful for me, as with the Trick Room up, I'm just going to switch out my Bunnelby into my Bonsly to take the Earthquake. If he went for Outrage, I'd be able to take that as well. Just basically whatever hit or whatever attack he went for, I would be able to go into Bonsly, activate my Berry Juice, get back up to full health, and then the next turn I'll be able to take his Berry Juice as well. So I mean, it's just kind of a very cool situation. Bonsly comes in, eats Berry Juice as the Earthquake. I'm going to Thief, take his Berry Juice as the Earthquakes again. So Bonsly has used 2 Berry Juices at this point, and is now back up at full health, and will actually end up being able to 1v1 this Tyrant, as my Rock Tomb is going to do a significant amount of damage, drop his speed a little bit, and with Trick Room running out, Bonsly will now be able to naturally outspeed, not just outspeed under Trick Room, and KO the Tyrant with a Thief. So I'm looking, quite frankly, I'm looking to be in an amazing position at this point, because Diglett will come in, go for Earthquake, knock out my Bonsly. I mean, that was just kind of to be expected at this point. But in this situation, Krabby will be able to come in and just claim a kill. Now I'm going to click Liquidation, as honestly that was just kind of the easiest move to click. I mean, it killed Diglett 3 times over at least. Well, yeah, it killed Diglett a little bit more than 3 times over. It would be able to heavily damage the Kartana to where my Myriad of Priority would be able to take him out, and it would also take out his Alolan Diglett as well. And it is worth noting that if Sticky Web was up in this situation, Krabby wins. Like, Diglett's reduced speed, Carvanha has to come in and get a 33% double protect in order to not be immediately KO'd by, or in order to be able to outspeed my Krabby, and then my Priority would be able to pick off a weakened Carvanha. So basically, like, yeah, Krabby is just in an amazing position. It has the potential to sweep. Like, it gets a kill, Carvanha comes in, has to get a double protect for Krabby to be able to, or for it to be able to outspeed Krabby, and then even then I can always just sack something off. I can bring in my Croagunk later, and also my Bunnelby with Quick Attack, Vacuum Wave, Fake Out. I have all sorts of priority to deal with Carvanha. So if Sticky Web was up, game was 100% over at this rate, but unfortunately that's not the case. But Krabby is going to come in, and I'm just going to click Liquidation like I said, but hindsight 2020, the better play was probably, actually the better play 100% was to be clicking Body Slam, because that knocked out Diglett. He already revealed a Violite on Munna, so he can only have a Violite on one other Mon, which to be fair could be Diglett, but Eviolite and Diglett doesn't really go together all that well, so I'm not thinking that it's a Violite. It's much more likely to be a Z Diglett, so a Body Slam would have taken that out, and also would have 2-hit KO'd his Alolan Diglett while KOing the Carvanha as well. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. So Body Slam should have been my play. I just was like, Krabby's in against a Diglett, I can click Liquidation, and to be fair, I mean, it's not a bad play. Like, his Carvanha comes in, and you see it takes an absolute crap load from Liquidation to where any form of priority at all will be able to take him out. And so, in this position, I'm like, okay, he knows my Krabby is Scarfed, I have my Bunnelby, I need to save my Bunnelby's Quick Attack for later, and this next play is a very, very, very bad play. I mean, like, no two ways about it. This was a tilt play. Like, this was a play that was the result of me tilting due to getting flinched first turn. I mean, I know it's late in the game, but it was still just like it was just a bad play overall. So I'm thinking that he knows that this Krabby is got to be scarfed. So he's going to have to protect with his Carvanha at this point to try to outspeed the Krabby. Otherwise, Krabby just outspeeds, claims the KO, and wins the game. Like, if I'm able to catch this Carvanha right now, like if he doesn't protect, I outspeed and knock it out, it's game over. Like 100%, it is just completely game over. So I was trying to catch him on the protect, and instead of going into my Bunnelby or my Sandygast, I'm going to go into my Croagunk, and he is going to actually end up catching me on that switch as he goes for the Psychic Fangs, and it just obliterates me. So that was a very, very bad play on my part. Like, yeah, no two ways about it. That was a horrible play, and it was also made because at the time I was under the assumption that I was under the incorrect assumption that my Sandygast still had its Eviolite. Because, okay, if Sandygast has its Eviolite, then I'm able to take a hit from either Diglett from either Diglett. I'm able to take a hit from his regular Diglett or even his Life Orb Alolan Diglett, and I will be able to shore up. However, before, like when I made the play into Croagunk, I had forgotten that Doduo had knocked off my Sandygast, so the good play would have been just sack off Sandygast because it's not doing anything at this point. Like, it is sack fodder and absolutely nothing else. That way I could save the priority in the back of my Croagunk and my Bunnelby, because the combination of those two priorities absolutely wins me the game. So yeah, that was just a very, very poor play on my part. Croagunk goes down, I lose a ton of priority that might end up costing me the game. So yeah, very, very bad position right now, but I will be able to take out this Carvanha. Just going to go straight into my Bunnelby, quick attack that thing, knock it out, and then just see what he's going to do from this point on. He's going to go into his Alolan Diglett, and I'm wanting to save Bunnelby's quick attack for his regular Diglett, so I'm going to go into my Sandygast, sack that thing off to an Earthquake, because as you can see, Sandygast without an Eviolite cannot take Diglett's hits at all, and it will go down. But I'm going to go into my Krabby and just kind of pray that Krabby can take home the game. So I'm going to go for Liquidation, able to knock out the Alolan Diglett. The crit absolutely did not matter at all. He does not end up being Tangled Hair, and I will be able to not outspeed his regular Diglett and knock that thing out with a Liquidation. So yeah, I mean, we are able to come out with a 2-0 victory after a very, very bad play with the Croagunk, where he was able to catch me with a great play on his part. But a couple things that I would like to talk about. One, had he been Tangled Hair at the end of that game, then he would have ended up winning the game, because he would, well, barring a crit from my end with my Bunnelby against his Diglett, because he would have been able to Z the Krabby, knock that thing out, well, outspeed and Z, because I would have been at -1 speed, so just a neutral speed Krabby. And then my Bunnelby would come in, I'd have to go for the quick attack, pray for a crit, and that'd be my only way of winning the game. So yeah, very good game, but also unfortunate, one, the misplay, and two, that I didn't have Sticky Web. Like, had I had Sticky Web, this game would have gone a lot easier, but he did identify his way of preventing Sticky Web from going up, and he was fortunate enough to execute that game plan. So very good game to Harry. We move to 3-0, and we face another undefeated. So the first 4 weeks of the season, I have yet to face an opponent with a loss, although, to be fair, game 1 of the season, you never face an opponent that has a loss yet, or that would just kind of be interesting if your opponent already managed to lose going into week 1. But yeah, first 4 weeks, have yet to play an opponent that has lost. We play Panther next week. That is going to be a heck of a game. Hope you guys will tune in, and thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.